Alrighty. Welcome back to the Public Pool Podcast. I'm Michaela, and this is Jack in the Box, Jack in the Crack, John.
Jack in the Pool, John.
John. Whatever we decide to call you this week.
It's, yeah. Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Yeah.
We had quite the weekend last weekend. Your parents came into town, and we found my new passion.
Yeah.
Sports betting.
Oh, yeah. You're a gambler now.
Guys, have you guys ever just heard about sports gambling? You go there, you pick what teams you think are going to win, and then they win, and then they give you money.
And it's a real high when they give you money.
And that's just what seems to happen. So why doesn't everyone do this?
One of my favorite moments, and obviously if you listen to the show and stuff, you know that our sports dynamic and stuff, one of my favorite moments ever is I always told you, it was like, if you were gambling on this, which I don't really sports bet that much.
No.
There's a reason why casinos want you to bet. Yes. There's a reason why all these companies are like, we'll give you money to just start because it's a drug and they can hook you, and they win. They all there wouldn't be a business model if they didn't win. Anyway, I was saying to her, I was like, the way to get, if you want to be really interested in the game, have some money on it.
Yeah. And you've always said that to me.
Yeah.
And I'm always like,
you're like, okay. And then last weekend for the first time ever, you actually turned to me and said, you're right. This game is way more exciting right now.
Yeah. We were watching all the March Madness games, and I literally was like, I was up and down in my chair. I was like, come on, okay. I still don't fully understand it, but I was like, okay, they're shooting. I'm getting more points.
I mean, you can literally, you don't even have to watch the game. If you just watch the scoreboard and the time clicking down, you can see that the points change, and you're like, no. It's just, it's awesome.
It was so much fun.
Did you learn anything?
I guess a little bit. Your dad was kind of explaining to me the different lines, where you can only stand under the net for so long or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And stuff like that. I was like, okay, that makes sense. I was learning a couple things here and there.
Because you'd watch and be like, well, I want this team to score. What's that foul? And it's like, oh, he's standing underneath. He's standing in the paint for more than 3 seconds. Foul.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's at least I could follow basketball. So it was kind of fun. Because again, it's just a get the ball to the net type of game, which I like those games. They make sense to me.
Yes. There's only one way to score too.
Yeah.
In football,
with football, there's way too much mumbo jumbo. Yes. He has the magic hat. He's doing this. You can't touch him. You got to go this. Oh, we're turning it around.
You're right. You're so right. In football,
it's you can't get me. I'm invisible.
Sometimes you can kick the ball.
Yeah.
And then that means this. And sometimes if you fall down in the touchdown, the other team gets points. You're right. It's insane.
And it's oh, this guy's going to catch the ball. You can't touch him. And it's what?
But it was really fun.
It was super fun.
We basically just watched college basketball and gambled all day.
Yeah. If you don't know, we live in Vegas. And so your parents, we kind of coerced them for Christmas to come into town.
Yeah.
During March Madness.
We got them tickets for a show knowing that my dad would love nothing more than to be at a casino in a sports bar for March Madness. That was the real gift.
That was the gift. Yeah. And you know what? It was a great time.
It was a great time. They already said we're coming back for every March Madness.
Yeah. Me and your mom took a little bit of a break at a certain point, and we went to Home Goods. Girls trip.
We gossiped.
We did.
We drank lattes and Cosmos.
Yes.
And we looked at fancy dresses. That's what girls do, right?
That's exactly what girls do.
Love it.
That's basically what we did. We were like, let's go to Home Goods. So they're all watching this basketball game.
This basketball. Oh my God.
Basketball.
Boys.
And then it was fun. And she had so many coupons. It was a hoot, you know?
Chicks, man. You guys are the best. By the way, really quick. Okay. I just saw, and I don't know why, I just expected it never to come out. The movie Rust, where Alec Baldwin, the one where that whole controversy of the cinematographer was shot with a real gun. I don't have to remind people because they know what we're talking about. It's coming out.
I thought they completely squashed that.
I assumed they did.
It's coming out?
They just released the first trailer.
They finished it?
They continued to shoot? What?
That doesn't make... I swear I read... Because I feel like I remember looking it up. So are they done?
I don't know. I mean, it's did they have 98% of the movie shot or something?
Maybe. That's so strange.
You have to assume it's dedicated.
Yeah, of course.
To the woman. But isn't that crazy?
Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. That's so weird.
I don't know how I feel about it either, because it kind of feels like if it was I don't know. Watch it be it was only 10% done and then they just continued. How did we not know that?
Yeah, that would be super
Let me just confirm this really quick because
I was going to say I did actually fall into a rabbit hole the other day because everything's coming out about Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively right now.
Yeah.
Apparently apparently someone died on the set of like Deadpool 2,
really?
A stunt person. And it was like something, it was like production's fault. And Ryan Reynolds like settled with them. So it like never went to court, like nothing like that, like settled with the family.
Yeah.
But somebody died and I think it was like kind of, but I don't know if it's like 100%. I don't want to say blood's on his hands or anything. But yeah, it kind of seemed like it was an unsafe thing. Like it wasn't handled correctly, like all that stuff. I was like, I never heard about it until right now.
Because they kept it hush hush.
I know.
This is how we felt. It's like with Diddy. It's like no one had ever heard anything. I'm not saying he's Diddy.
I know. I'm also cool to say I'm out in Ryan Reynolds now. Because also there was just an article where there was already whisperings about it, but I think finally an article just like corroborated what happened.
Yeah.
So we didn't see Deadpool 3, the new one. No. Deadpool Wolverine. Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Christmas or no? Something.
There's
something about it.
But so we didn't see that. So I don't know exactly the scene, but I guess his daughter, they had her in the movie.
What's her name? It's going to be something weird.
I was going to say it's one that you wouldn't like. I forget. Actually, but it's not one you
wallpaper
100% hate because they love plantation type names. Or because she likes to like cosplay like Southern shit.
I'm sure there's no scandal there.
Oh yeah, I mean they call her Plantation Barbie. They got married on a plantation, and she like started like a plantation themed lifestyle brand.
Love pre-Civil War South. That's what she said.
Literally, that's like Blake Lively's whole thing is she loves that style.
Okay, so in defense of Blake, no, I'm kidding. But at the same time, too, though, it is actually really funny how much it's like people do cosplay that a lot.
Yeah,
where it's kind of like say what you want. They had great style. Like
yeah, and it's like, and I do like kind of give a pass to like all the people who have been maybe canceled for like going
to a party,
the sorority type parties with the like
that's
antebellum
ridiculous.
theme or whatever. Because I will say I was obviously I've never been invited or gone to anything like that, but like me being someone who's not anywhere near the South or whatever, I'm aware of history, but like I'm not aware of like these certain parties and traditions. If I went to a college in the South, I would not really know exactly.
There's a lot of that.
Like, you know, and so like those I kind of feel bad about sometimes where I'm like, I don't think everyone exactly knows what these things are.
Outfits.
Like, I think that's kind of what people see them as and probably, but it's like, obviously there are some deep rooted issues there.
But okay, so she's very pro antebellum South.
Yes.
Go on though.
But yeah. So basically, I guess what happened was they had their daughter who's, I think, 5 or 6, like she's little, and she played like a little Deadpool of some sort.
Yeah.
And there was like reports about like Ryan Reynolds like making her say stuff she wasn't comfortable with, and like basically her line was like, "Get Wolverine's dick out of your mouth," or like whatever. Really? And like I guess there was like production was saying like she wasn't really comfortable, and then he basically was like kind of telling her like, "I'm teaching you the lesson that like if you don't do it, someone else will. Like we'll replace you." Type of thing. And so now there's like articles coming out.
That's a great lesson to teach your children.
Yes, teach your children.
Hey, when you're uncomfortable, be worried about losing your job.
Yeah.
Don't stand up for yourself.
Yeah. No, like literally, I was like, what? So I'm like, I'm cool to be like, I've been out on them, but like now I'm like, you're now
publicly, officially on Baldoni's side.
I think I've been publicly on his side.
Yeah.
But,
well, we weren't really.
Well, yeah, I guess we didn't really talk about it too much on the podcast.
We were worried about being wrong.
Well, yeah, because also I just kept being like, damn, they keep doubling down. Something's going to come out. But this is the first time I've been like in the thick of the legal documents. Yeah. And I'm like, they have nothing. It's crazy.
So there's a poker term called being on tilt. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard that term, but I don't know.
So when you're on tilt, it basically is like when you lose and it kind of fucks with your brain a little bit. You're like... Mm-hmm. You should leave the table. You should cut your losses. Okay, I'm down.
Yeah.
But sometimes people just can't leave the table and they end up losing way more than they even brought.
Yes.
And
that does feel exactly
it feels like right now they're sort of in that position where it's like, again, another analogy to compare it to the Ukraine war. It kind of feels like one of the things that especially at the beginning of the war everybody talked about when it was like, oh no, okay, Ukraine is fighting back, is you don't want to put a guy like Putin in an uncomfortable situation where he's backed against a wall.
Yeah.
Because he has nukes. And when an animal is backed against a wall, that's when the claws come out.
Yeah.
And they start acting irrationally and crazy. And it kind of feels like Blake Lively in this situation is Vladimir Putin.
I would think that's
that's everybody. People have made that comparison before, right?
Page.
Sort of a Putin type, shades of Putin.
Yeah,
Putin-esque.
I feel like honestly, like my theory, a lot of people have been like, oh, she fell in love with him. And like, well, one, I think yes.
Yeah.
Well, one, I think step one is that she wanted the credit and control. She wanted to be known as a director. She wanted to be known as like a producer or whatever. So she overtook the production or whatever. I think that was a whole thing. But I think the fallout of it was she has been pretty universally like liked corporate celebrity. Like,
oh yeah,
you know, people, oh, their relationship goals. She's always like at the Met. Like she's a fashion icon, whatever. I think she has been like pretty across the board, like liked in Hollywood for such a long time that I think that this was the
liked
first,
by the machine.
Yeah, liked by the machine and liked by the people who are like, yes, goals, like type.
Which I think is more to do with Ryan Reynolds being him becoming a Kevin Hart rock, John Cena type, where it's like you are no longer yourself. You are this entity that creates wealth for other people. Yes. So watch it. And I think you're right. I think like she's attached to him and now trying to do the same thing even more.
She like, which I get the like, I want to be known for like apps, but she's just going about it in the most entitled, bratty way possible. Yeah. But I think because she hasn't really ever had like major backlash shit before. Yeah. Her getting backlash during the press tour of everything, I think
is shocking.
I think genuinely she could not fathom that it was real and that was happening to her. And she was like,
it's just a bunch of incels on the internet.
No, I think she literally was like, this was a PR attack. Like,
it must have been.
Clearly this has never happened to me before. This is, people don't feel this way about me. I genuinely think she could not fathom that people were upset with her. And I think she turned around and was like, you did this to me. Like you set your PR machine on me, Justin Baldoni. Like,
but then why did she accuse him of stuff?
Because I think she probably was like, I'm going to get back. If you're going to do that to me, I'll do this to you. And I think that that's what went down. Like
that, I think you're right.
I think she's literally that delusional where she doesn't see that her actions actually caused her to get her own backlash.
Yeah. And also I think that there's a certain,
and now it's just digging.
Have we talked about this? It's so funny because we very specifically was like, we know exactly, we're both on the same side in this. We both have our thoughts. I forget if we've talked about, but basically I think, you know, I don't think we have on the podcast. Ryan Reynolds, like him pre-Deadpool, it was like, oh, he's he's in rom-coms, he's in some funny movies, he's got a very unique style or whatever. Yeah. And then Deadpool, even though he wasn't the only writer, it basically was like, you know, Ryan Reynolds wrote Deadpool. Yeah. You know, he's the guy who got it made. He sat down and did it. Yeah. And now he's a mover, shaker, and producer. Yeah. What's that from? That's from the song Handlebars by Flowbots. Yeah. Movers, shakers, and producers. Me and my friends understand the future.
I can ride my bike with my handlebars. That's such a good song. When you and Henry did karaoke to that, that was really good.
My brother and I have done karaoke to that multiple times. And the funniest part, so if you don't know the song Handlebars by Flowbots,
download it now.
Listen to it now. It's a jam. It's a one-hit wonder that was so sick. It came out when I was in like middle school and like it spoke to me. And it's so funny because now I know what all the words mean in it. Yeah. He's just going through our high school curriculum, honestly. But there's two parts. There's the chorus where I can ride a bike. Real easy, no handlebars. And then there's the guy who has to rap super quickly. Yes. Here's why it's great. When you're like, which one should we do? Volunteer to do the rap one. Volunteer to do the hard one. Because at the end, the chorus guy has to yell, I can end the planet in a Holocaust. Yeah. Really loud 20 times in a row. Yes. That's very uncomfortable. And you get to kind of stand there and be like, oh, look.
I didn't say it.
You have to talk about it. You have to say that part. That's a great karaoke song for just that alone. Anyway, Ryan Reynolds is known. Yeah. He's now a mover, shaker, and producer. And like, I feel like just his respect in industry, his life, their life just kind of went off. Yeah. And it's like she's kind of trying to follow his playbook.
They want to be known as like they're a dynamic, like they're a it couple. They're a powerhouse couple.
What can't they do? Wow.
Just like us.
Just like us.
They want to be like us.
Yeah. She has her own business. He has, but then together they're even more powerful. And the problem is I don't think she did affect the movie in any meaningful way.
No.
It sounded like it was more negative.
I was going to say it sounded like the scores went from his cut to her cut where hers were not good.
Shockingly.
But she elbowed her way in.
Shockingly. And then, yeah.
Yeah, there's a... God, yeah, I'm like... I'm going to start my own show just to be like, here, I'm just going to talk my shit for an hour.
And we could do it. We could honestly have a full episode where we do that. And I could be the public defender in this situation where I can just say, now take it with a grain of salt, because again, that's he said, she said.
He said, she said.
So we don't have proof of that yet. Yeah.
I will say we had one episode of the podcast where apparently we just like called everything in a bad way. I forget which episode it was, but it was before Liam Payne passed away.
Yeah.
That episode where we were talking about a One Direction reunion.
Yeah.
And we were like, someone's going to have to die for them to be reunited.
I literally said that.
You literally said that. And that was like, what, 2 weeks before or a week before?
I think it was a week before.
I think so too. And then we said also in that episode that we don't trust Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
Really?
We said both of those things in one episode.
Was this before?
Yes, this was before the legal drama.
Okay, so everyone should listen to this podcast and just kind of keep a sense of, because we don't even know when we're predicting stuff.
Yeah.
But this is
guys,
good.
I hit a parlay this week. Like
you hit a parlay.
I'm seeing things with my third eye that you guys don't even see.
No, you I think your gambling record is like 8 for 10, which is unheard of. It's an unbelievable start to Baby Girl's gambling record.
And we're just getting started.
We're just getting started. In fact, it's so funny. Everybody's like, oh, you should do a sports gossip explaining gambling terms. I'm like, I'm waiting for FanDuel. I'm waiting for DraftKings. Who wants it, guys?
I know. We need a.
That's such an easy. Sports
betting.
Give me.
Someone sponsor.
Give me some sugar.
Give me some sugar.
A little bit. Just a little flavor.
I am your neighbor. But yeah, no, I've been like thinking about like I just want to do like a pop culture solo show where it's like me just talking for like 30 minutes a week, because a lot of it
should.
Because a lot of stuff it's like we talk about together, but a lot of it is you don't know this housewife and this influencer that like you know a lot of like the mainstream stuff. Obviously, you're very good at like the pop culture stuff, and we'll still talk about it. But like the stuff we know, but it's like there's so much stuff that I'm reading about and falling into this rabbit hole, and you don't know any of the players. You don't know any of the Like when I was trying to explain to you the Vanderpump Rules drama like a year or two ago, I was like, I
can get past the name.
I was like, I know.
I thought I didn't realize that was a name. I thought Vanderpump was like a saying.
Yeah.
And what are the rules? Yeah. like I had no idea anything. And you're like, well, yeah, at their restaurant. It's like, their restaurant? Yeah.
And then I showed you the people. You're like, those guys aren't gay? Like,
yeah, what?
Valid question.
I mean,
every time I see them, I'm a little shocked too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But like there's always stuff like that where it's like the same way with like you in sports, where it's like we can only talk so much. You have to teach me. I have to teach you.
We're like Alec and Hilaria Baldwin, where one of them doesn't speak good English, even though she's from here and grew up speaking English. Mm-hmm. But we're like a couple that speaks different languages, where it's like, no, most things we can communicate. Mm-hmm. There's certain aspects where it's like, we have no idea what that means.
Yes.
And we just don't go there.
Yeah.
You know, I should have a solo show too.
We could each do a solo show.
I'll do a solo show, but I have one rule. You're not allowed to edit it.
I don't like that.
I know. I got thoughts. It would be called
I Got Thoughts.
It's called I Got Thoughts. What's the deal with, and then
you know that scene in The Office where Ryan sets up a blog for Creed, but it's really just a Word document? Creed Thoughts?
/ Creed Thoughts, yes.
That's what I would do to you. I would be like, here, you have to upload this link, and it would never go online.
Because you also know that I never check anything.
I know.
I don't know how any of our content ever does. So I would literally, you could just be like, it's doing great. And I'd be like, oh, great. I'll keep on.
You have 1 million subscribers.
1 million? Wow. They must really like my thoughts. I mean, literally my podcast, half my podcast notes and stuff are, I wrote, if the US and Canada actually ended up merging, the new name would be, and I'm calling it. Actually, here's another prediction. So I don't think the US and Canada are going to merge, even though it's so funny if you get away from the politics of it. It's kind of like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, it would actually really benefit both countries a ton. The only difference would be like, it's basically like asking, not exactly, but like New York and Boston be like, what if you guys were one city?
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you talking about? Boston rules. Fuck those guys. It's like, that's the only.
Yeah.
It's just pride.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I get.
Which I totally get.
Yeah.
I totally get it. But there's like it's not like in like Europe where like, why don't, Italy and France they speak different fucking languages.
Yeah.
And they're totally different like cultures. No, Canada is basically like Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Like it's just the same thing. But if they do merge, I know what the name would be.
Okay.
It would go from the USA to USPA.
Yeah, it's Postal America?
Postal Service, United Services Postal America.
Yeah.
No, it would just be the United States and provinces of America. You wouldn't change the provinces to states.
Okay.
The U.S. is states and provinces.
Okay.
That's it. I was like, I literally was thinking, that's just what you would call it.
That's the answer.
That's the absolute answer. You're not going to rename instead of provinces that they're states, and it would just mesh like super easily.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a random, but that's it. You know what? It's kind of shower thoughts because I literally wrote that in the shower. Another shower thought I have is.
Sorry, I just remembered something I did this morning and just came back to haunt me. Sorry.
Okay.
Keep going. We'll talk about it later. Sorry.
You want because this is more important.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes you just get like a moment of embarrassment where you're like, oh my God, that happened. And I blacked those out. No, I blacked it out and then it just hit me again. Sorry, continue.
Was it shower or something?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, so good because this is important. The Lollipop Guild from Wizard of Oz is the weirdest shit ever to take place in a movie. Do you know the Lollipop Guild?
Refresh.
Dorothy lands in Munchkin Land. And all the Munchkins are like, hey, you killed the Wicked Witch. The Wicked Witch is dead.
The Witch of the West. Yeah, or Ding Dong.
Ding Dong, the Witch is dead.
Yeah.
And then the song ends. So they sing this whole number where all these Munchkins, which by the way, wouldn't it be a better world if it wasn't called dwarfism, it was called Munchkinism?
That is kind of cute.
It's adorable. The little donuts from Dunkin' Donuts get some Munchkins.
Munchkins.
Donut holes. They just stop the song ends, and then immediately go into these kind of like 5 wearing suspenders little Munchkins. They go, we represent the Lollipop Guild. Do you know what I'm talking about? The Lollipop Guild. And they have lollipops.
Yeah.
And then they give it to her.
Uh-huh.
And then the movie just continues as if it didn't happen.
That's why I was like, I don't really remember
What?
because it was, yeah, you're right. What?
We represent... What's the Lollipop Guild? What is the Why would you need a guild? It's a union. It's like SAG. It's the Screen Actors Guild. It's a union of lollipop makers?
Yeah.
That's a big industry in Munchkinland?
Munchkinland.
Man, Munchkinland was vulnerable.
Yeah, they were.
Like to attacks.
Yeah.
Who's going to fight the wars?
The witches.
The witch just, I think, just took what she wanted.
Yeah.
It's literally just tiny people.
Yeah.
they're and you're like, well, okay, so what do you guys do? We make lollipops. You guys are fucked.
Yeah.
You guys are fucked. You make lollipops? Not only do you make lollipops, you're unionized?
I don't know why that just made me think of when was it Kanye West talking about the movie Wreck-It Ralph, where he was like, they wanted her to believe that she wasn't special. But then it turns out she was on the side of the machine.
She was on the side of the machine. Like, that's how I think, though, too. Like, I could kind of compare me to Kanye West in Hawaii, where it's like, we watch it's like my dad. My dad has a lot of takes about random anime movies. He's like, well, you know what the messaging is.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is the messaging, Pops?
Apparently, Boss Baby is like pro-life propaganda. And I'm like, I think it's just a movie about babies.
Oh, no, there's another pro-life. There's a bunch of movies where they're like kind of adopted by the pro-life movement, where it's basically, Anyway, the Lollipop Guild. For whatever reason.
Apparently Shrek is like pretty shunned by like a lot of like the interesting Christian communities.
Really? Why?
Where they're like, this is satanic.
Really?
Yeah. I've heard several stories of that in Harry Potter where they're like, no Shrek, no Harry Potter.
Well, witches are always, there's just a group of people that are very sensitive. And by the way, you know what? Like,
God forbid women have a little power. That's all I'm saying. You guys are
powers. Isn't it interesting how
Jesus Christ was out here healing the blind? We're fine with him, but not the ladies turning people into frogs or something.
What is your what do you think of when you think of a witch? Is it a good or a bad person?
I think it's misunderstood.
No, I know what you think. In general, how is a witch portrayed?
I think magical.
Witches are portrayed bad.
Well, they are.
They're scary.
Yeah.
How is a wizard thought of?
Pretty well.
Pretty well.
Sexism.
Wizards are helpful assistants to the king.
But they're all the same.
What do you mean? So now you're just putting all the wizards in a box? Or just a bunch of old guys with long gray beards?
Wizards and witches, like they're supposed to be the same.
My point is, women shouldn't have magical powers. Oh. They're bad. But when men do,
it's okay.
It's good. And that's our lesson for today. Write that down.
Write that down.
It's good. There's rarely, and when there's a bad wizard, they have to tell you he's a bad wizard. When there's a good witch, they have to tell you she's a good witch. You know what I mean? Like, oh, she's one of the good witches.
She's one of the good ones.
Yeah. Whereas a wizard, you're like, well, I assume he's good until you tell me otherwise.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
That is true. But God forbid women have hobbies like
this would be
brewing brews or whatever.
I don't want women
riding off of the. You know what? Girls have the witches have more accessories. They're on their broomsticks and shit. They got the hat. The hat's fun.
Is the brooms?
Does the broom make them fly, or can they fly and they're just kind of riding along with the broom? Because you want.
I think they're just.
Because it's like, is it like standing where you're like, yeah, I could stand, but like
I'd
rather sit.
I think they're kind of enjoying the broom.
Yeah.
I think it's like, why not have that there?
Yeah.
You can cut that. That's a little inappropriate.
Because we're so PG.
We are.
This is a family show. You're about to rip your vape.
The lollipop guild. It's never been explained to me. It's like the weirdest 2 minutes in a movie.
Yeah, no, that you're right. That is strange. I need to run back Wizard of Oz. I haven't done that in a minute. I'm trying to remember the last time I actually watched Wizard of Oz.
It used to terrify the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Oh, the flying monkeys?
Yeah, flying monkeys are pretty freaky. They're pretty freaky.
But like all this stuff, there was a time, like after we saw Wicked, I went through, because there's like 40 different Wizard of Oz books.
Yeah, we did a kind of a deep dive after.
Yeah, and it gets, by the way, batshit crazy. Like the first book is The Wizard of Oz. There's like 13 more.
I know, there's a whole other universe.
Dorothy's in like one, or maybe she comes back in like book 6.
She comes back for another one, but
the Scarecrow becomes the wizard at some point. It makes no sense.
Spoilers. Just kidding.
They should make the sequels.
They should. But anyways, that's a Raven moment that I got reminded of this morning.
Okay.
So when I get spam calls, sometimes I'll just answer and say something weird.
You're okay. I love it. What do you say?
Like, I don't know, like, or I'll just kind of be rude, or I'll be like, sometimes I'll answer and pretend I'm a receptionist because they'll immediately hang up.
Oh, I like that.
I
like that a lot.
all the time.
Yeah.
But this morning I got one, and I just was like, clear. It was like an 800 number, so I was like, okay, whatever. So I just answered and I said, "What do you want?"
Okay.
First on the other end of the phone was Wayfair. I ordered a couch yesterday.
Oh. Did you explain the situation?
I said, sorry, I thought you were someone else. And he just was like, oh. And he was like, he was just trying to like sell me on like, do you want to upgrade to like have someone like build your couch for you?
So that's what you want.
Yeah. But just the way I answered, I like literally answered first ring. And I was like, what do you want? And I was like, to hear another person on the other end of the phone say this is Wayfair, I was like,
oh, thank you so much. Oh, sir, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
But I like put that out of my mind because I was like, that's embarrassing.
It's weird because I might do that. I might start having to do that with the American Red Cross.
What?
For their blood drives. I get phone calls like 400 times a day.
Do you really?
Yeah. Like.
Do they not just text you? Like.
They do that too.
Man.
They do both.
So don't call me anymore.
I know there's probably a way to check it.
I know.
To stop it. But they're constantly telling me wanting my blood like vampires.
I want to suck your blood.
I'm always like, guys.
How do you feel about vampires? Good or bad?
Bad. What? No, bad. They drink human blood. Bad.
Or in Twilight.
What do they do in Twilight?
Animal blood. They're hunting. They're basically just animals.
Yeah, but they're also like in high school.
But they're also like 3,000 years old.
I don't understand. I know I've asked this question before. I just don't understand why they were in high school. Like,
because that was the age that they got turned vampire, was like high school age.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Speaking of antebellum, didn't
one of them was a Confederate soldier?
Confederate soldier. Mm-hmm. Like how old was he?
Very old.
No, I mean, like, how old was he during the war? Like,
oh, well, young. Well, back then they were young in the war.
I guess my point is, there's a lot of people.
Jasper, that's the one who is the Confederate soldier.
Like, the point is, there's a lot of people who you're like, wait, that person's 22?
Yeah.
They look younger than that.
Yeah, you could really get away with it. You really didn't.
You don't have to go back to fucking school. You really don't.
Why would you want to keep going to school?
And then all that's doing is making you have to move all the time.
Or just claim that you're homeschooled. If someone's like, hey, aren't you in high school?
Yeah.
Be like, I'm homeschooled.
Yeah.
Don't bother me while I'm out and about in the town.
It like couldn't be like, I just don't why would they go to a school? Like, why would they go to high school?
To be fair, the book was written by a Mormon. We don't know.
Yeah, where on earth they're from?
Yeah,
where on earth they're coming from in this situation? That's totally true. Doesn't
it make a lot more sense when you find out that Twilight was written by a Mormon?
It makes so much more sense. It makes so much more sense. That's so funny. God, I still am so mad at Twilight for not diving deeper into Michael Sheen and the geopolitics of vampires.
I know.
All I want was the triumvirate.
The Volturi.
The Volturi, like just, dude, what is there like a Senate? Is it a republic, a democracy? Is this like, I don't know. I love any time.
I feel like it's more like connected to like the Catholic Church.
Is that? Well, okay, that's fascinating. That's fascinating.
But I don't know. Like,
if only we knew more.
I just kind of was getting that from via like them going to like Rome to like visit them and shit like that. So
that's true.
I just kind of assumed that there was some Catholic vibes there, but I don't know.
The whole thing makes so much more sense now. It was written by a Mormon. Oh my God! And is that the one that inspired 50 Shades of Grey?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think Twilight was inspired by like a My Chemical Romance song, and My Chemical Romance was started because of 9/11.
Yeah, so it's like 9/11 led to
My Chemical Romance, to Twilight, to 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
To Dakota Fanning becoming famous, to canceling Ellen.
Yeah. It's like how 9/11 led to Ellen.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the bet. So there was an article I saw, a bunch of scientists basically saying there's a new theory that we could be living inside of a black hole. So here's my thought. Well, who cares?
Girl.
Right?
Preach your choir.
Right? When it's like, this could all be a simulation. Okay. What do you want me to do about it?
I'm still enjoying it.
What do you want me to... That
changes nothing for me.
Does this affect my day at all? Or is this just sort of like are you high right now feeling?
Yeah. The difference between us living in a black hole versus us being a floating ball in nothing.
Yeah.
Changes zero.
In nothingness. It changes absolutely nothing for me in my life. I'm still hungry. You know
my theory's always been?
What?
And I'm sure that there's a theory already, is that space is just a circle. Like it's a sphere the way the Earth is, where it's like we can't walk off the Earth. We just keep going. I feel like space is the same way, where it's like you can kind of just keep going around and around.
Oh, okay.
You see, like I feel like that's what makes most sense to me, rather than like infinite nothing.
That's where I always come from with like.
But then what is space in?
Well, that's the I forget if we've talked about this ever actually or on the pod, but it's like the whole idea of like the idea of the Big Bang. Where it's like, there was nothing and then bang.
Yeah.
To me sounds, and again, maybe I'm an idiot, like just as absurd and stupid as like anything else. Like that there was nothing.
But that's also a thing too that I don't get is because wasn't it basically like the Big Bang was like a bunch of stuff all of a sudden like hit each other like a collided and then we got the Big Bang.
What created those things?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I might not be remembering correctly, but that's right.
It was, I always say
certain.
It was like something super dense and hot.
Something.
Bang.
And
it's like, that's why whenever people like, it's so weird to me to get into religion again. It's so crazy to me when people are like, they're atheists. And I'm like, that's insane.
But also I'm like, science is a religion. I don't like.
Yeah, but it's like agnostic. Exactly. Where it's like, it's how anybody could be. You're positive that nothing created anything? No, you think. That's what agnostic is.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody knows for sure. What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
But people, Anyway, I my whole point of this is whenever people are like, it could be like this, and it's like, does this make me not have to pay taxes, or is that still happening?
Yeah.
Because why are we talking about it?
Why are we?
What does this change?
And we have different perspectives on space where you don't really like to think about how like small and irrelevant we are. And I love to think about it.
I think there's two types of people, and I think we're the two different types.
I think so too. Like that, it freaks you out and it comforts me.
It makes you feel, the idea of infinite space makes you feel like, okay, don't stress about things. They're not significant.
Like literally this stupid text that I need to reply to is nothing compared to what I am in the blip of this world versus like the internet or the space, everything.
Meanwhile, this whole thing is depressing me because
you're like nothing matters.
Well, then why no, I want to care. I want to think that things are important.
Yeah, no, like but things feel so important to me. Small things feel so important to me. So it kind of grounds me to be like, it's really not that deep.
And I naturally am kind of like, nothing's really that deep. So I want to feel, I'm chasing that high. My theory that I feel like other people have too is like, you took biology or chemistry?
I didn't take chem.
But just like what an atom is.
Yeah.
Are we not just an atom?
We're just
Earth or the Milky Way galaxy? Maybe that's what an electron is.
Yeah.
And then outside of this is a person.
It's Horton Hears a Who.
It's Horton Hears a Who. And
They're on a dandelion.
All of our cells and stuff are just universes.
Yeah.
It's like,
no, I think that's very much.
They look a lot alike. They're the whole idea of something spinning around a nucleus.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's science right there.
Yeah. No, everything's like, yeah, there's too many coincidences where it's like things looking the same, working the same.
Yeah.
But on massively different scales.
Yeah.
I think that it's almost like everything's actually really simple.
That's the way I like to think about it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm pretty chill.
So I'm pretty chill.
That's why I don't think about stuff too much.
I just read an article before we came in here too. So the next season of Bachelor in Paradise.
Okay.
Ready for this? It's going to include some golden stars.
Okay. That's a great idea. Great idea.
I am praying for an age gap relationship to
Big
happen though.
MILF energy.
I am praying for something like that to happen. I know it won't, but God, wouldn't that be good TV?
It'd be fantastic TV. It's going to happen. Well, so have they had a golden bachelorette yet?
Yes, they did.
Okay, so
now they have a cast.
Honestly, you want to bring the guys.
Yeah, because a lot of the girls can get with the older guy.
Like I feel like that's more likely.
Yeah,
especially have a few rich guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I was single and on Bachelor in Paradise and that happened, I might gravitate more towards the golden stars.
Oh my God,
Oh my God,
he's a great father.
Literally,
he's a widower.
Yeah.
I want to be in his home and in his bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's retired and I'm going to be an influencer. We have nothing to do but vacay.
We have nothing to do but vacay and he can pay for all of it. And he can pay for all of it.
Literally.
Yeah.
He's already retired.
I love that.
I love it. I hope that happens for one of the contestants because I think that they're hoping that the golden people will get together or whatever because there is always...
No. They're hoping for an old person to hook up with a young person. I feel like that is the hope.
Maybe. But I just don't think that they expect that just from the as much as people from The Bachelor go on there to be influencers and stuff like that, there is the Christian undertone to The Bachelor where it's
well, I don't know if that's on purpose. I think that it just so happens, especially in the early ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's network. They keep it, there's obviously drama, there's dirty stuff, but it's they keep it relatively clean. And now all of the raunchy people go to all the other better shows. They're all they're all going to Too Hot to Handle. They're all
Love Island's one, right?
Yeah, they're all going to the Bachelor people are the ones who come here to get married.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Love Is Blind where they're pretending that they're all there for the right reasons.
You're right though, especially because it's the other ones, there's never any stipulation of you have to get married at the end of this, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of need that Christian vibe of
marriage.
You're ready to get married and you're going to do it. Yeah. You will do it, right?
It's the marriage.
You kind of need that.
Yeah.
Which is why the Golden Bachelor is hard, I think, because they're kind of I've been married twice.
I'm trying. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to remember, at this point, when the last time, a Bachelor couple
stuck together,
got married. Because there's been a couple success stories with, Bachelor in Paradise, but, they all got to go on their own pace where it's they left together, they dated, and then they were together for 5 more years, and then they just got married. It's when was the last time, a true, Bachelor, Bachelorette franchise had they got engaged and they lasted, or not even they lasted, but they got married.
I can't remember, and if I was the producers of the show, that'd be by far what's stressing me out the most.
Yeah,
it's the validity of our show is seriously in question.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because I'm trying to think, is it Rachel Lindsay and her chiropractor husband? They just got divorced, but they were together for 5 years.
I'm so out of my depth in this conversation.
I know.
There's so many people. How many people have been on The Bachelor shows?
So many.
We're probably approaching 1,000.
I know.
Because there's been what?
I think one of the OG Bachelors follows us.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
We get a lot of dating show people following us. We get a lot of
Love Is Blind
people, which we love.
Uh-huh. I get a lot of Big Brother people, but I think it's just because
you follow them. And
I follow them all. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think because then once I collected a few, I think they all see that I have mutuals with all those people.
We must know them.
We must know.
Yeah. That's so
So
funny.
I spoof all the Big Brother cast into following me, but
love it. Ian McKellen is encouraging fellow actors to come out. He said being in the closet is silly. How many actors are, besides Tom Cruise? I feel like we're at the point where it's there's a ton of
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that's kind of harsh for me to say because I'm sure there are some.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was more of a 15 years ago statement.
Yeah. Maybe it's a statement more to the older people.
I think it was directed at somebody.
Yeah, right?
I think he's Tom.
Tom.
Just do it.
Wouldn't it be crazy if he like came out tomorrow? Tom Cruise.
I think it would only happen if there was a Kevin Spacey sitch.
Yeah.
I'm gay.
Yeah.
Still one of the funniest, not funny things ever.
I know.
That's right. I'm gay.
It's like Diddy being like, girls cannot come to my house. And it's like half your accusers are men.
Okay. No women. They don't know I'm gay. We know you're gay, buddy. Robert De Niro and his 2-year-old.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that.
Spend their days with Miss Rachel. That's got to be the craziest life. That kid is growing up in a way that I don't think anybody else in the world is growing up.
No.
It's like.
It's very strange.
Like you can't relate with your classmates whatsoever.
No.
No one knows what life is like for you.
I know.
Yeah, my dad, he passed away when I was 8 because he was 88
old. Yeah.
when he had me. And I used to hang
died
out with
old age.
I used to hang out with the Wiggles.
Yeah.
Like what? I caught it.
Take a sip. Lower that water. You keep making it.
I'm drinking my water.
Drink your water, okay?
I drank it like it was a sippy cup.
I know.
Drank it like it was the blood of Christ. Right?
Okay, when are we going to stop sharing a cup at church? When is that going to die?
Never.
Like, even like post-COVID, we're still doing it.
How dare you? How dare you?
Because they always do that. Because so when you like did like communion and stuff, we both grew up Catholic.
Yeah.
When you did like the communion and stuff like that, and did they ever make you like do anything like during mass or whatever, like go be like an usher or so?
No.
I forgot they like had us do a couple things, and I remember they showed us like because some of the kids were gonna offer body of Christ and the blood of Christ, and so
you know what I'm remembering? They always take that little handkerchief and wipe it.
Literally what I was going to say is they were like, so what you do when you hand it to someone is you hand it to them, you take your thing, you wipe it, you turn it a little, and it's like, that doesn't all it's doing is wiping it further. Yeah, and the next person's just going to we're just making a saliva circle.
You're exchanging a circle of germs. That's so funny. And it's like, so true.
Like why, like I just keep being like, we're still doing this post-COVID? Like everyone's drinking from the cup?
Yeah, I think so. You know what? I don't know anybody who got sick that way.
That is true.
What does that tell you, babe?
I guess it's alcohol. So we can kind of kill the germs a little.
Yeah, interesting. Can you get sick? Somebody tell us. Say Mikhail and I, say one of us was sick. Mm-hmm. The only contact we had was drinking a shot of vodka, the same shot. I think the vodka kills it.
I think it does too.
Yeah. It's strong alcohol.
Yeah.
Whereas I've actually never had the wine at church.
I think I did before my communion because I was like, I can have a sip of wine.
I was kind of like, this feels...
Now it grosses me out. Now I'm like, I wouldn't.
I was like, I weirdly felt like I was going to be in trouble if I wanted it. Mm-hmm. You know? So I just was like, they always said like, you can say no to that.
Yeah.
I was like, fine, I'll eat the cracker.
Yeah, you eat the cracker.
Yeah.
I always love to just like, because it's like a styrofoam cracker. I just love letting it like melt and stick into my mouth.
Add some flavor to those bad boys.
Although one time I ordered them off of Amazon because I was like, that sounds like a good little snack.
Yeah, and I thought that was, I
think it was a texture thing. Like the texture is more fun. The taste like nothing, but I kind of like the texture.
I remember you ordering that, me being like, listen, I don't know if this is good. I don't think you should do that. It's what's the Angela from The Office where it's like, he makes a joke about the devil and she's like, you shouldn't joke about hell.
Yeah.
It's like, I kind of have that feeling.
Well, they're not blessed. They're just the crackers.
Don't they have the cross imprinted on it?
I think so, but the priest has to actually bless it in order for it to be, you know?
True. Hey, to each their own.
I just wanted the cracker.
Look,
okay?
the point is, you just love the crackers. The point is...
I do love the crackers.
Was the body positive movement ever real? In hindsight, are we learning right now?
I know. I think about
Was it ever real? I keep on seeing stuff and I'm like... I don't know.
I think the effort was real. I think the stand, like the body standards and the judgment and all this stuff is actually more here and ready to party than ever, simply because the internet. Mm-hmm. When before it was like, oh, we used to, you know, just like the horrible articles that were like, Jessica Simpson's so fat, and it was like,
well, did you see her? She was so fat.
We were all like, oh my god,
she was a little pig.
And like looking at her now, it was like, what the
fuck?
It's like this normal looking woman. What on earth? And it was just like, but it was like they would get the headlines, and obviously awful. And it's like, that's what the society was seeing. Like, okay, these headlines, this is all. Now we have not only the headlines, we have the comment sections, we have forums, we have all. And so it's like, you can, even if you don't even like read bad headlines, if you open a comment section with celebrity, it's like people being like, she has no hips, she has cellulite. And it's like
every possible insecurity.
Nobody, her body isn't the discussion, but it's so out there still. And so now it's like, I felt like everyone had to be like, we're doing a body positive movement. We got to fix this. I think the effort was there, but I think we all know in hearts of hearts that like,
they never meant it.
I think the people who are doing it meant it. But I think we know that there's no way to fix it.
There's no way. It just feels to me that a lot of the like body pause, like, oh my God, queen, all those things. The second Ozempic came out, they were like, oh, I can just do that. And now it's like, it's different for like Lizzo and Adele. Those like, because those were the things where the people were like, this isn't body positivity if it's like actually like, you shouldn't be like, hey, it's okay to be 300. Not that Adele was, but like that there's a limit to the body positive. You shouldn't make fun of her. No, regardless.
I think it's basically, it's like, obviously, you don't want to like encourage bad habits, but it's that one thing might be someone's one thing. And so it's like, who are we to beat down?
Who? Yeah.
Like there's no reason for any of us to comment on anything or whatever. Like there's, and like, that's what I think it is. It's like, there's no reason anyone should be mean to anyone for
the normal should be what's beautiful. The extremes can be interesting, but like extremes we shouldn't be asking normal people to become the extremes. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense statistically speaking.
I know. I feel really bad for, were you talking about the body positive thing? Cause we're seeing about the girl, was it Remy Bader?
No.
So she's right now in the news. She has been a body positive influencer for a long time. She's like all types of content, but like a big part of her content has always been like body positivity and stuff like that. And she's a bigger girl, and then in the past year or two, she's dropped a lot of weight and all this stuff, and people have been upset with her, and like because for losing the weight, and also
is she losing does she look healthier?
She's not like anorexic skinny or like, you know, like when you see, she's not like that. She's
just getting in shape.
She's just lost weight. But
she's helping her heart and organs.
She does not look anorexic, like any of that. Like she looks great. But since she's doing that, people have that thing where they feel betrayed that she's doing that. Yeah. But also people are upset that she isn't saying what she's doing. Like if she's Ozempic or if she got a sleeve or like whatever and I feel really bad for body positive influencers because they can't
do anything.
I think a lot of them got put into this niche because they felt like that was like, okay, this is what you're saying. I have to talk about it. And then they were able to kind of turn it into a positive thing of let me like spread a positive message. Like that's a great thing. And so obviously you get like these people, but then it's also this weird thing where it's like your content's your body. And there's like a weird thing about that. Like it's almost like the weird thing where it's like, okay, suddenly your audience is like entitled to like know everything about your body. And like, cause even I feel weird being like, oh, like people need to disclose their plastic surgeries. Cause at the same time, I'm like, do they? Like you like don't really need to consent to tell anyone about like anything in your body. Like I think it's very strange. No. And so this girl, she's getting a lot of hate and she just went on Khloe Kardashian's podcast actually. And she admitted that she got like a sleeve.
Okay.
Like she just did it, but it's been like months of people like berating her and stuff like that. And I'm like, one, if someone does it, like give them time to like talk about it. And two, like they don't want to talk about it. Like you can basically like revoke that consent that at any time. Like, and so I feel bad that like a lot of these people are in these corners now where it's like, if they make a change, they feel like they're betraying or like they can't make content or like whatever.
You're in a box. You don't want to shift too much. Yeah.
And it like, I feel like it just sucks. Like if you want to, life is about like changing and doing whatever, and it's like,
and it's funny how no matter what,
you can slide either way. You could lose, you can gain weight. Like,
and I'm sure she got hate in the comments no matter what when she was bigger, where people are like, you're fat, like you're fat people, and then when she started losing weight,
her audience felt betrayed. Like
the ones who liked her was like, traitor.
They're just constantly in this negative box. And I just feel like that sucks. And like I think they're so awesome for like trying to put out positive messaging, but like. Like, God, I feel bad for them. Like, cause like, God forbid you do anything different. Like, or but I get it. Like from the people being like, you told me it's okay. And now you've changed. Like,
and now, what?
I don't know.
That's stupid.
I don't know, but I feel bad.
To me, every time I see more pictures of celebrities, I'm seeing what you're seeing, where it's like, they have bones in their face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, swear to God, 3 years ago, they posted a thing being like body positivity.
I know.
Like, was it for real?
Was it for real?
I don't think it was. I think you were waiting until there was a cheat code.
I know.
Tough being a woman.
It is.
It's tough being a man too. Let me tell you what's hard about being a man.
You guys are the wizards. We're the witches. Okay.
What do we call my show?
I have some thoughts.
I got some thoughts.
I feel like we need to have a little bit of TV talk.
Okay.
I feel like
Severance?
I was going to say, I feel like we need to discuss Severance
Okay.
a little bit. So if you guys are watching Severance, we can't recommend it enough. But also if you aren't caught up, skip ahead a few minutes.
Skip ahead, yeah.
Because I'm not going to like hold back spoilers. We're just going to talk. How did you feel about, so the season finale, season 2 just happened.
Yeah.
I liked they have really good season finales. I guess
the show's fantastic.
The show's amazing.
No, both season finales were unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I really liked, I mean, the thing that weirdly I haven't actually seen people talk about, because it's one of those things where because the ending was so like, oh, Innie Mark stayed. That's so big. People kind of forget about what happened beforehand.
Yeah.
Outie Mark talking to Innie Mark was like one of the most amazing scenes.
That was amazing.
Like, and then they did it really great where it started off by showing how they're going outside with the video camera. And then eventually they kind of had them be like, no, let's literally make it look like they're talking to each other. Where they kind of blended the audio like it was a conversation. That was amazing.
It was so good.
What are your thoughts about Innie Mark and his decision making?
I mean, so everyone's mad at him because they're like, oh my God, like she's out there. And what are you guys running into? I liked it because it was like,
of course. He doesn't fucking know Outie Mark.
He doesn't know Outie Mark. And if anything, he did him a favor of, you know what? He did his best. He got her out.
I saved your wife.
I like, let's meet in the middle. I saved your wife.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to do something for me because I'm also a person and I'm going to go with the girl I love. And so while, oh my God, poor Gemma has been through hell, I feel so awful for her. Like, oh my God, that poor woman. I understand why Innie Mark was like, you know what? I did what I had to do. I saved someone. Now I've got to.
So what do you think next season's going to be? Like if you had to describe, because I think I know exactly what it's going to be. I think
it's going to be an Innie Outie like civil war.
I think so too. Yeah, I think I don't think Mark is leaving. I think he and Helly are not going in that elevator.
Yeah.
I think that because also it was so quick, but the Innie marching band became like an army.
Yes.
So they have control of the Severed Four. Yeah. Like totally. I guess though, isn't there a thing where like they can do a computer switch?
Yeah, like they could turn them on and off. So it's like, I don't know what they'll do, but then at the same time, it's like Lumen probably doesn't want them to go back to like their real life because now they've just blown up everything. And so
they're fucked.
They'll want to keep the Innies / kill them all. We'll see. But
so I have a theory too. I think next season, Irving, where he's going to come back, is he's going to be hiding Gemma. Ooh. Because he's some sort of detective military guy. Yeah. And I think that it's going to, because Christopher Walken's character, I think they're basically going to be kind of against each other, even though not really. But because it's like, okay, Gemma's outside the building. Yeah. They can't let her get out. I know. They faked her. They literally faked a woman's death. Yeah. And then tortured her for 4 years for some fucking, to put their founder, that's what the theory at least, in her head or something. Like if she escapes, like they're all toast. So how is she going to get out of the parking lot? I know. Like even if Mark had gone out, how did they get out of the parking lot? Out? No, they're being shot immediately. I know. Although somebody did point out they don't have security. Like
they do when they walk in.
But like they don't have like.
But it's like one guy.
Oh, it's one guy. They don't have like an elite force to like come in, and it really does seem like it's just the staff there. Yeah. So what are they going to do? I know. It's interesting. You know? I could see actually Helena not coming back. Basically where they're like, Helly R stays. Because they're going to try, right? Jamie Egan's going to be like, you remind me of Keir. I think he's like, he wants Innie. I think he wants Innie her. And so I think that's going to happen. Yeah. I feel like Helena's kind of out. And so I think he's like, he has more of an incentive to keep her. So it's like, just keep her severed. This is the new person. Yeah. I wish you'd take them raw. Scariest scene. He's scary. Dude. his face is weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of the hair, I think.
I think so too. I hero of the whole show is just always Milchick.
Well, I was going to say hero of the show to me is Dylan.
But
Milchick, best character of the show by far is Milchick. Best
character in the show. Best like actor.
We got a cunty dance.
Yeah, we do.
Right? That's you said, right?
Cunty dance.
Cunty dance. I need to watch that dance again.
And
I really need to watch that dance again. We only seen it once. How have I only seen his dance once?
I'm down to rewatch the season finale again. Although another cunty moment for Milchick.
Yeah.
The Orpo outfit. Him in the all white fur. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, girl. Like
hello,
and then
guys.
Miss Wong came out in a matching one.
It's Miss Wong.
Yeah.
Why are you a child? Because of the year I was born or something?
Yeah, because of when I was born.
Because of when I was born.
I know. Yeah, my theory originally was that she was Mark and Gemma's like daughter or something.
That was everybody's theory.
But she might be a little too old for that timeline, so it doesn't really make sense.
Because actually we did learn something about the timeline here, or in this episode that I didn't know about. Mark, Gemma died 4 years ago. Mark's been working there for 2 years.
Yeah.
That's very little. I thought that he'd been there for 15 years.
No, yeah.
But then again, no, because his wife wasn't that old when she died. He wasn't that young when she died. Man, what a freaking show.
It's such a good show. Like,
oh my God, you was such a good scene too. When he gets off the elevator and he has, I think it's a bolt gun, like a nail gun. Basically, it's scarily enough if you've seen No Country for Old Men. It's what they used to kill cattle, where it's a nail that goes out and in, like that. That one
so
New York bitch. He's like, fuck off, get out, fuck off, get out.
Nobody's talking about that scene.
Yeah,
that was
nobody's talking about any of the scenes because everybody's talking about what do you think happened in the end?
Because that was such a fun, but everyone's talking about like, oh, the Milchick dance or like whatever. Yeah. It's like, no, that scene was so funny where he was like, open the door. She's like, no, open the door. No.
Fuck you. No, fuck you.
Yeah. It's the spouse.
It's the spouse. She has such a funny voice. That's the only scene that I said, can we rewind that?
Yeah.
That was the funniest.
It was so fun. Nobody's talking about that scene. It's so funny.
Then the Drummond, it was a weirdly, darkly funny thing was they're in the elevator, he has the gun to the neck.
And
they
severs.
switch and he accidentally shoots it.
I know.
And he's like, ah!
Yeah, I'm trying to like think about like, I feel like almost like the closest that was to the scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where they just start like he just like what do you like hits her or shoots her, like I don't know, like but the first whatever act of violence was so
he like throws something like funny at her.
Yeah, it was like
a can.
Yes,
he throws like a can of Campbell's soup.
And it's like just so aggressive off like just like randomly that I'm like that's what it felt like, where it was so jarring, but like it was kind of funny.
What was funny about that too is like they took away movie logic and they just had real logic where it's like, no, that woman got hit in the face with a fucking can. Like she's going down. Like it's not like bounce off, keep fighting. No,
it's like you go down.
She got dicked with like a 3-pound metal can.
If you go to a concert, they make you open the drink so that way if you throw it, it's losing liquid and it won't hit you as hard.
Oh my God, when I was a kid, we would go to these. I've explained before. We go to the New York Giants games, and for whatever reason, we'd always go to when they were facing the Eagles. Fuck Philly, and I remember there was one time, I don't know what game it was, I don't know what the score was, but we were walking down. You know those kind of like circular walkways to where instead of stairs, like to go up 5 floors, you just walk in a circle.
Yeah.
They were just throwing glass bottles across. And it was one of those times where I remember thinking to my dad, like, why are we here?
Yeah.
Like, I like the Giants, but it's great from the couch.
Yeah.
Like, why?
It's more fun and safe at home.
It's December. I'm bundled up. There's a bunch of really drunk, very large, scary men who are nothing like my father.
Yeah.
And that's what's scary.
Yeah.
It is really, isn't it?
Men who aren't like your father.
Isn't it? That's really what it is. Men who aren't like your father when you're a child. It's why I know when there's a baby, I know which ones are going to be like, pick me up, and which ones look at me like, uh-oh.
You're scary.
Whereas for like you, for the most part, all babies are like, nice.
Yeah.
Come here.
And I didn't have a dad, so all men scare me. No.
All men are terrifying. And you know what? We're still working on that. I'm trying to convince you there are some good ones.
Hey, I've told you. If you get me, you get me. I got God. I trust you.
I know. And it's, you always tell me, it's like, man, it turns out I was fooling you. Mm-hmm. Okay. Severance. There's more thoughts.
I know. There's
Dylan coming back with the thing. We knew it was going to happen. Mm-hmm. Okay. The Dylan note from his Outie.
Yes. And then when Milchick ran away.
I saw somebody describe. Yes.
That was such a good scene too.
Milchick giving the thing and then sprinting away was one of the funnier Just have it. Apparently the guy did it in one take. All the other takes he walked away. But now when he ran away, and they're like, that's the funniest. It's why the shot doesn't make any sense. Yeah. But we got to rewatch that episode. We'll see that tonight. But Dylan's letter, it starts off, fuck you. And then it's like an anti-suicide note.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I want to be you. Yeah. It's like, damn.
It's like the relationships between the Innies and Outies this season were strange because I felt like it was more about them kind of negotiating with their Innies and Outies.
Yeah.
Like as opposed to last season, it was like they're figuring stuff out or whatever. And they still were figuring stuff out this season, but it was like this one for Dylan, it was like he kind of felt like suddenly an obligation to his Outie because he knew he had a wife and kids, and he kind of got a little bit of a taste of that. And then
he
his
to take
Outie,
care of his family.
Yeah, and then his Outie got mad at his Innie for kissing his wife. And it was like that was an interesting relationship.
So there's a scene. Let's talk about that because that's something. So the scene is Dylan's wife tells him that she made out with Dylan's Innie. And he erupts.
He's pissed.
He's pissed off. I don't know how I would react.
I know. I was saying that
So I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you kissed me. Yeah, my body.
You kissed my body.
I just wasn't present.
Yeah. It's strange because it's like, yeah, it's a different person. But at the same time, it's like, I think I would feel bad about having like a severed Innie. And so if you were visiting my Innie or whatever as like a morality thing, I almost would be like, yeah, maybe flirt with her a little.
Yeah.
Kind of give her something to think about. Like make her happy. Like I
incentivize.
I'd kind of encourage it a little.
I would absolutely encourage it. In fact, I would kind of be like, weirdly, in order to do the Innie, also, sorry, this is going off another thing. I just always think about like, okay, if you're severed, and it's like, a lot of people hate work. I totally get that, especially like a remedial job like that. But a tedious job like that, time must feel so fast to you.
I was going to say, your days would feel so short.
Your days are 8 hours long. If you sleep for another 8, but like you just, like a year is half as long.
Yeah. I guess you have weekends.
You have weekends, yeah.
But still.
And then also too, like, it's no matter what, when people describe this is what it's like, you'll have like a separate person in you who will be doing all the work. You have to be really fucked up to ever sign up for that.
Yes.
To be like, I'm putting a person that's me into, they only do tedious work. That's they don't even sleep. They just,
I know. Nobody talked about that part with the Orpo. That was the first thing I thought about this is the first time Innies are really sleeping.
Or falling asleep.
Like going to bed. Like, cause they had the one where wasn't it Irv was like falling asleep.
Yeah.
But like the Innies just go to the elevator. Like they don't like no sleep like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, nobody talked about the fact that they all like went to sleep in tents during the Orpo.
Yeah.
That was their first time doing that. We'll stop, but I'm hoping they really bust out Severance season 3 and get it to us quick because
oh my God,
man, I need more.
Because basically after we watch this one more time, I'm going to probably
put it out of your mind.
Have to put it out of my mind so I don't torture myself being like, when's it coming back? Okay, are you ready for sports gossip?
Hit me, sister.
Okay, so today we're actually going to be going back in time to the NFL. So NFL free agency started a couple weeks ago.
Which means?
It means that players whose contracts are done, like the players who aren't currently signed to a contract with a team, can now sign with any team. So it's like, okay, so like free agency is like, so after like somebody gets out of a long-term relationship and they can kind of play the field, they're a free agent.
Okay.
Basically, it's like, okay, they're no longer with this person. The player's no longer with this team. Now they can sign with any team or start dating any person they want. They're a free agent.
Yeah, they can go slut it up.
So a lot of crazy stuff has happened. Too much to really get into. But I just wanted to bring up one of the funnier situations. I just want to bring up like one of the funnier like circumstances that just happened.
Okay.
In the last week, the New York Football Giants have signed. Is it Football Giants?
Yeah.
That's what they're called. In the last week, the New York Giants have created what I think is the funniest QB room in like the history of the NFL. A QB room just means all of the quarterbacks on the team.
Okay.
So every team has a quarterback, a backup quarterback, and a third string quarterback.
Okay. Little trio.
A trio. In the past week, the New York Giants have signed Russell Wilson.
Okay.
Sierra's husband.
Yes.
Jameis Winston, you've never heard of.
No.
And Tommy DeVito.
He's the Italian kid, right?
The young Italian boy from New Jersey.
I like that kid. He's a good egg.
The reason why it's so funny is because all three of them have very strong personalities and none of them make any sense. Like it's literally like pickles, peanut butter, and mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Like at no point, they have nothing in common.
It's like the definition of work friends, where it's like we would not be a squad outside
They're
of this.
the definition of work friends. Yeah. Like the New York Giants quarterback room right now is essentially like a collection of Jennifer Lopez's exes.
Jenny from the block.
J-Lo. These are guys who have absolutely nothing in common except for the fact that they happen to play quarterback in the NFL. Everything else, they might be the three most polarizing, most different quarterbacks in the NFL. They're so unique. It's like, so first you have Russell Wilson. He's A-Rod in this analogy.
Okay.
They're both incredibly corporate, incredibly politically correct to the point where it just sort of comes off as fake.
Okay.
Where like they're very like PG rated.
Yes.
And you're like, I don't think you actually talk like that.
Yes.
I don't think, like it's just.
They're very clean.
Like very clean, a lot of fans, a lot of haters, a little bit cringy, kind of have that like sort of stepdad energy.
I was going to say kind of the dorky dad thing.
Kind of a dorky dad vibe,
Although,
like a stepdad vibe.
We heart dorky dads.
We love dorky dads. I love A-Rod.
Yeah.
And a lot of people love Russell Wilson. I'm a Giants fan, so now I love Russell Wilson too.
Yeah.
But there's not really another quarterback in the NFL like him.
Uh-huh.
And then we get in their second string quarterback, Jameis Winston. He is the definition of a wild card. I want you to think of him like you think of Ben Affleck, okay?
Okay.
Like, for instance, Ben Affleck seems to be an unbelievable father. Mm-hmm. But he also has a full dragon back tattoo.
Yes.
That's in color, by the way.
It's colored.
And when you want to guess what the colors are, they're, I think, teal and orange. Like, what? Like, Ben Affleck.
It's a beautiful piece.
It's a piece of art. Ben Affleck is an amazing movie director. He's an unbelievable movie director. But then also he only dates women named Jennifer.
Yeah. Stay inside, Aniston. You're next.
She is next. Or Hudson.
Or Hudson.
Who knows?
There's so many Jennifers to pick from.
No, there's so many Jennifers. Like, let me just tell you about Jameis Winston for a second. So Jameis Winston is the definition of hit or miss. There's only two outcomes when he throws the ball. Okay. Either it's an amazing pass and it's a touchdown, or it's an interception. Okay. There was 1 year where he threw 33 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. No one's ever had a 30-30 season before. That's so insane. Very exciting to watch. Very hard to watch when he's on your team. You know? He also he's just crazy. Like he played. Like, there's just so many controversies with him, too, where it's like he seems like he's the nicest guy, but then also he shoplifted Burger King and crab legs in college. Like, there's just a lot of scandal.
How do you shoplift fast food?
How do you shoplift? You have to go behind the counter.
Honestly, skill.
Very impressive. He's tall. He's long. Fries.
Reach
the fries. He's very tall. He's just kind of like a generally silly guy where you never know what he's going to say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fantastic Jameis Winston sound bites. And finally, you get Tommy DeVito, their third string quarterback. He is Drake in this analogy, okay? The definition of fuckboy energy. Okay? This is...
Certified lover boy?
Certified lover boy, Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito is the most famous third string quarterback maybe in the history of the NFL because he's Italian. That's it. Because he's Italian, he lives with his parents. His mom makes chicken cutlet, and his agent looks like he's out of the movie Goodfellas.
Yeah,
like he is a party boy. He is a fuck boy. He is the absolutely hilarious in the same way that Drake, where you're like, what the hell is he up to next?
Where it's like today, like Drake's an island boy, and he's gonna go country. You never know what he's gonna play that day.
You never know what you're gonna get, but you know that he's probably hooking up with somebody where you're like, really, dude? Again?
You
know what I mean? So yeah, basically the New York Giants room, I want you to imagine that you go into a room where they're showing tape. And in there you have Ben Affleck, Drake, and Alex Rodriguez. That's their dynamic.
That's a very strange dynamic.
As a Giants fan, I'm actually really excited because we've been sucking forever, so at least this will be interesting. Their commonality is that they dated J-Lo the same way that Russ, Jameis, and Tommy's commonality is that they play quarterback in the NFL. Yeah. That's it. That's literally it. There's nothing else. All right, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right, that's it for the pod. Coming up next week, we have, maybe we should both do it and just tack it on the top of this podcast next week and just be like, Jack just monologuing for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No cuts.
Next time one of us is out of town, we should just be like solo pod.
Yeah. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure out how to upload it. I'll just do it. I'm not going to tell you. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think any announcements, but Make sure you're following us on TikTok, Instagram. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Absolutely. Oh, and actually, so we've posted on our stories and stuff, and so you can click on that. But we're going to the NFL draft, which is insanity.
Yes.
That how far we've come. Literally a year ago, if I told you like you're going to be invited to the NFL draft.
Yeah.
I don't even know what your response would
I'd
be.
be like, for what?
Why?
Am I dancing?
Yeah, to dance. She's a dancer. But it's like a sweepstakes thing. Sign up.
Yeah, because when does this? Yeah, okay. So if you're listening to this on the day it comes out on Friday, the sweepstakes should still be open. It should be highlighted on both of our Instagrams. You could just click the link at travelwisconsin.com/draft.
If any of our listeners win, we will hang out with you.
Yeah.
We will absolutely. That's what I love about our audience is like, I don't think anybody listens to this that I wouldn't be like, yeah, let's fucking hang out.
Yeah, it's basically just a sweepstakes for, they're going to bring it at the draft. We're going to get to see Wisconsin. It'll be a good time.
Fly you in. And again, Wisconsin, if you don't know, is literally the cheese capital of the world. There's a sign that says the cheese capital of the world. That's where all the good cheese comes from.
Yeah.
Don't tell me France.
France.
And the French have really figured out how to be like, we're better. And you're like, when you ask why, they're just like, because we are.
Yeah. So I think the sweepstakes ends on the 31st of this month. So if you can get, sign up before then, that would be fabulous.
They're fabulous. All right, guys, towel off.
Towel off. See you guys next week.
Love you guys.
Bye.